Yeah, no, thanks, Marty. And really everything that I'm going to say today is going to tie in with what you're talking about, Marty. I was going to start today with a religious analogy, and it was going to start with a question. And the question that I was going to tie unpassive into is, was the tomb empty? Okay. Now, some of you out there know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. But I'm not going to do that today. I just think that question is infinitely more powerful than any question I have about unpassive. And I do mean infinitely. So I'm not going to make that analogy today. But what I am going to do, I am going to start with a question. And it's a really good question. I have no problem with the question at all. And this is coming from people, and I know emotions are just swimming all over the place out there right now. And the one question I got, and again, it's a good question. Have you made any money, right? Have you made any money with unpassive? And my response is, well, no, I haven't made a dime with unpassive. And of course, right away they go, aha, I got you. You haven't made a dime. And you have to understand, we are rational human beings, and you have to come to the question of unpassive rationally. You have to think about it. Use your mind. And after you have that question, you have to ask the question, well, okay, is unpassive a reality? Is it real? Okay. And if you ask that question and you look at what unpassive has done over the last 4.5 years, you're going to come to the conclusion that, yeah, unpassive is real. I mean, unpassive went to India, went to Hyderabad. 6-story building, over 1,000 employees in there that make the products of unpassive. Unpassive then went over to the UAE. They went to Dubai. They bought 2 floors on the Burj Khalifa. What's the Burj Khalifa? A lot of people don't know that. Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. We own, unpassive owns, and we are unpassive. We own it, 2 floors on the Burj Khalifa. That ain't cheap. We have our logo in a metro station in the UAE. That's the unpassive metro station. Over 100,000 people go through there. Again, that's all about marketing. We're in the Middle East. We're in Africa. We're in America. We have been approved in over 200 countries throughout the world, and we have met the requirements that the regulators have in each one of those countries. So when you look at that and you ask the question, is unpassive real? You have to. It's just logical. You have to go, yeah, it's real. And then I get the question, well, okay, but they don't have any products. There are no products out there. And I go, okay, what you have to do is go into your OES back office. All of us are involved with unpassive in one way or another right now. Go into your OES back office. What do you see initially? You see OMail, you see ONet, you see OTrim. Those are free products in unpassive. They're free. You can go in and use them, and they're excellent products. All the products of unpassive, superior technology at a lower price point, if they're for sale. And of course, the next question is that, well, okay, you got free products there, but what's for sale? How am I going to make any money? How's the revenue going to come into unpassive? Again, you go into your OES back office. You look at the 2 paid products that are going to be released here shortly. One is OConnect. The other is OTracker. Both of those products are multi-billion-dollar niches. Are they going to be launched to the global market very, very quickly? Yes, they are. I'll get to that. So when you think about the products of unpassive, they're there. They haven't been released yet, but that's how the revenue is going to be coming in. OConnect, OTracker, and then as Marty said, many, many more behind that. All of them multi-billion-dollar niches. And because of the technology of unpassive, because of the products of unpassive, above market, superior products, people are going to flock into unpassive. Again, rational mind, you need to think what's happening, what's going on in unpassive. And then you think, well, okay, all of that's great, but how am I going to make money? And this goes to the heart of Ash Mufareh. And when you think about what Mr. Mufareh has done, it's really in plain sight. Do you think Mr. Mufareh came on and just had a thought in his mind? I think I'll build a company today. I'm going to build a company and it's going to do this. It's not how it happened, guys. Mr. Mufareh has been in the industry for 25 years. And over those 25 years, Mr. Mufareh has built systems so that what he did online was very, very successful. And he was very, very successful. He even tried to give his systems to different people, but he found that most people, 99% of them, wouldn't do anything with them. And it's not because they didn't have the inclination. It's just, it's intimidating to create a system online and then see it work with your online business. So what did Mr. Mufareh think? Mr. Mufareh think? He said, well, okay, nobody's using my system. I'm going to build a company where the system works for you. You don't have to do anything. The system will go to work for you. How does that work? On Passive, they bring people in, the people look at the products, they become customers, they buy the products. Those individuals, a certain percentage of them land in your organization, you make a commission. Think about the volume, all the products we have, multi-billion-dollar niches, and the amount of people that are going to be coming in. Mr. Mufareh has thought about all of this, and as Marty said earlier, his main impetus when he created On Passive was to give people a way forward to get that financial liberty and freedom. That is the system that Mr. Mufareh has created for us. And when you think about On Passive, you think about it logically, rationally, whatever your questions are. Where's the money coming from? Do you make any money? How do I make money? What's the system? You know, just by looking at what Mr. Mufareh has done, it's a done deal. And the really, really cool thing about On Passive today, we're not looking at weeks or months or years anymore to see if this thing is going to work. We're looking at days. We are days away from On Passive launching the paid products to the commercial world globally. And that first one is OConnect. It is going to be a massive success. And I always, at the very end, I always get the question, okay, I see it. I know On Passive is real. I think they're going to do great things. What's the commission structure? Okay. And I've gotten that question for the last 4 months. Will you come out, do a video on the commission structure and go over it in detail so we know what we're going to make? And I've told people I will not do that. And the reason I won't do that is because the commission structure that Mr. Mufareh and his team have put together is fluid. It's dynamic, and it will always be changing. I think the one thing you need to keep in the back of your mind is that Mr. Mufareh has come on and flat out told us he is going to give us everything he can. And that's over the objection of a lot of the corporate side of On Passive. They want Ash to keep as much money as he can, but that's not Ash Mufareh. He wants to give us 50% of the profits of the revenue coming into On Passive. It's going to be right around there someplace, I believe. The reason I can't do a compensation program for you is because it is so fluid, is because it is so dynamic. Do I have an idea of how I think it's going to work? To a certain point, but there are things in there that Ash has not talked to us about. I don't know how it's going to work. It's like Marty said earlier. I don't know how this is going to pan out for everybody as On Passive launches OConnect to the global market. I don't know. But I do know, because of what Ash has told us, because of the heart of Ash Mufareh, it's gonna reach any expectations you have. Now, when you think about On Passive and you think about us launching into the global market, please, 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 don't expect to be a millionaire your first day, okay? That's not how it is set up. On Passive has been set up so over the long haul, and I'm not talking about 10, 20 years, but I'm talking about 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Over that time period, some people it'll be quicker. I don't think it's going to take longer than 3 years for most people. But in that time frame, because of the way On Passive is structured, the way it's built for you to go to work for you, there will come a time when finances are irrelevant. You don't even think about them because your bottom line is taken care of. And that is one of the goals of Mr. Mufareh. It's what he wants to do. So whatever angst you have, whatever anxieties you have, whatever doubts you have, look at the whole picture rationally. If you do that, there aren't going to be any questions. At least there aren't going to be any questions that we can't answer very, very quickly. On Passive is here. It's happening today. It's not happening next week, next month, next year. In the next few days, I believe all of our lives are going to change in major, major ways. So hopefully that takes some of the angst out of the, and I know most of the people here that are listening today, you're not in that crowd. You know what's happening. You're excited about what OnPassive is doing and what it's going to bring to your life, to your family, to your community. There's no problem there, and I know that. But there are a certain portion of people out there that have these different questions. But if you think about it and you look at the whole picture of OnPassive, those questions, they dissipate very, very quickly. And obviously in the next few days, as OnPassive comes out and releases the hard products to the global market, all those questions are answered. And they're answered for a lot of different people in ways they didn't think it was going to be answered, and it's all good. I want to kind of end with Dan Street. Dan Street and his wife Lila and Nick, they went up to Keystone yesterday, and their timing was perfect. Not only can they get away, but it is a celebration as to what OnPassive is doing today. And they're going to be up there playing golf and riding their bike. And they're in Keystone, which is in the high country of Colorado. Absolutely beautiful up there. I know they're having a great time. And my wish for everybody in OnPassive today that's participating with OnPassive, that in a very, very short period of time, you can do the same thing. You can get away with you, your family, and celebrate life because of OnPassive, life is about ready to get a lot better for everybody that is participating with OnPassive. And it's not going to take a great deal of time for everything to start to flow. And then, as Marty says, each preceding day is going to be better than the last day you had. And it's just going to get better and better and better. It is OnPassive. It is what Ash Mufareh envisioned. And today it is a reality. And I'm glad Dan and his family are up there having a great time. And they're seeing some beautiful country up there. I hope that for everybody in a very, very short. There's just 100 different ways to go. But I agree with Marty. You know, the last 15 years, they were really, really good years. They were hard years because we had to learn what we needed to learn to do a business online. But I wouldn't change the last 15 years. But here's what OnPassive has done. And remember, OnPassive is going to go to work for you. That's unheard of. It's never been done before online. But when we think about OnPassive, it eliminates that 15 years we had to take to learn to do the things that we do. You do not have to do that. You don't have to take. Now, chances are most of the people out there, they're smarter than Marty and I. And okay, you can do it in 5 or 6 or 7 years. But you can eliminate that time frame because of OnPassive, because OnPassive goes to work for you. And I love the analogy that Marty did when he brought up Christmas. I think it's a perfect analogy of what OnPassive is and what it's going to do for all of us. If you take yourself back to when you were 6 or 7 years old and you're approaching Christmas Day, the 25th of December, there's so much anticipation and you can't wait for the days to go by and they feel like years. They just take forever to go by. And you go down underneath the tree, and every day you look at another present, and you see, well, is that one mine? Is my name on that one? Is it another present for me? And the cool thing about OnPassive is every time you go and look underneath the tree, there's another present there, and it's yours. And with that present, it will generate income for you because that's how OnPassive it has developed and structured. And as we get closer to that date, the 25th, which is going to happen any day now, you're going to be able to go down there and open up everything that's under the tree. But here's what's really, really cool. And Marty said it. They never stop coming. It's like it's Christmas every day. OnPassive will always be putting presents under there for you to improve your future, your financial future, to give you liberty and freedom. So this is what OnPassive is. Always, always understand that OnPassive is not bringing you in and then putting you on an island. They're not doing that. They are going to work for you. You know, Marty, Dan, and I, we bring in people every single day now. And I want to go over just a couple of names. One individual came in today, Peter Paul Mendoza. He's from Romania. Anwar Muhammad, he's from Saudi Arabia. Manuel Niso, he's from the Philippines. Did these individuals come in because of Marty, Dan, and Mike? They did not. They came in because they saw OnPassive and they saw hope. And hope is a really, really good thing. But when you can take hope and you can tie it to the reality of OnPassive, what OnPassive is going to do for you, it is an unbeatable pair. That is OnPassive. That is what OnPassive brings to the table. And I just mentioned a couple of names. There's no way I could mention all the names that we're bringing in right now in the time frame that Marty and I have. It's impossible to do. But these individuals, they came in, they saw OnPassive, they saw the hope, and then they're realizing that OnPassive, yeah, it's a real deal, it's a done deal, and it's happening in days now. It is OnPassive. It is what Mr. Mufareh has put together. It's a marvelous thing, guys. It's an absolutely marvelous thing. As Marty said, if you're not in, come in, get into the OAS back office, the OnPassive ecosystem back office. Look around. It's free. You get some free products to use them. You get the paid products you can use for a certain amount of time. Use them. You're going to love them. And then understand what OnPassive is going to be doing for those individuals participating with OnPassive who have become affiliates. It's a wonderful thing. That's it, Marty. I just wanted to throw those two last things out there. Christmas is here.